Greetings, fellow Demon Slayers. This is Taimanin Mari here today with another Action Taimanin video. So, today's Tuesday, the update just happened, so we're going to go ahead and just take a look at what was added. This is going to be a really short one. They didn't really add like a whole lot, but we'll get right into it. So, the first thing, we did get a gift from the team. It is a gacha coin, so I'm not like super excited about it, but yeah, eventually we'll have 100 of these saved up and we'll be able to actually do something with it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Okay, so let's head on over to the actual gacha. So our new supporter is here, Misaki Akane, and even with Frankie's edited machine translation and my machine translation, we still didn't quite get her ability right. But it was really, really close, so I'm happy about that. But she's actually a little bit better than like the actual machine translation even says. So her passive is called Sound Art Noise Control. It increases damage dealt to all enemies by 10%. With the translator, it was looking like it said that the damage increase happened if she criticaled, or if you criticaled. But that isn't the case. She just passively increases damage dealt to all enemies. Next we have increased critical damage dealt to bosses by 25% for 10 seconds upon scoring a critical hit. So the boss critical damage requires a critical hit to access. So basically it's just kind of an inverse of what the machine translator was reading off as, which is fine. She's going to passively increase all damage at all times. And then if you score a crit against a boss, she'll just deal additional damage to the boss. So overall, she's still a really good supporter. There's nothing really going on right now. So I'm going to say I think it's safe to pull her because I don't consider her a bait. Her passive is really good. But again, we don't know what may be coming next week or if they're going to slide any other supporters into the pool. So, and I have no leaks at the moment. So I really like I'm saying yes, she's safe to pull because she is good, but take it with a grain of salt because of course you never know what's coming next. You never know what skins they'll put out, and you never know what supporter they'll surprise us with. Like for all I know, they could throw Adult Yuki out next week and then in which case she would have been a bait, but if you want her, pull her. She's very good. And of course, her active ability kind of stays the same from the machine translator. She deals 280% damage and knocks back all enemies within close range, and immediately restores 15% of your lost HP. So overall, she's a good supporter. Like I like her. Plus, she's cute as a button. So she will be here until the 12th. So we have her hanging around for a couple of weeks. If you're interested in pulling her, go ahead and do so. I do really want to pull her myself, if I'm being honest, but since gacha coins lock your discount pulls, and I have more than 10 of them, I'm just going to hold the gacha coins and wait for her to be added to the pool since she is not limited. Next we come to the Shop of Desires. Of course, Misaki is here as well. You do need 100 desire and 1000 gems to grab a guaranteed copy of her, but I just wanted to let you guys know she was here in case you're interested. And like I said, she's really the only thing going on right now, so barring what may be coming next week or in the immediate future, yeah, I'd say she's a pretty safe bet to pull on. She's actually good. She's way better than the Takane waifu, the little tan waifu we had last week, so definitely, like, she's a step up from the recent supporter we had. And outside of that, yeah, they just added the new event. There's not really much going on. Like I said, this was like just a pretty much run-of-the-mill update. So we're going to come to the event. We have Sounds and Shadows and Shifting Woods. So, as per usual, when farming the event, I haven't even started it yet, but if you're a newer player, try to strive for doing normal difficulty 5 or anything within normal. If you're a veteran player, hard 5 is the place to farm as you will just simply get more tickets for per AP. So just to give people that general tip because I haven't mentioned it in a while and some people still ask where to farm, which is understandable, there are still new players coming to the game. And finally we come to the gacha screen. It's the same format as every other event. Every odd numbered box will have the waifu in it. and you want to pretty much progress through box 9 to get everything, there are no special rewards in box 10 like a decoration or theme, so box 10 can be avoided. We're stopping at box 9. If you get the rare drop for a box, just be sure to refresh the box like so that you can move on to the next box. Getting gems is a strategy, but just be mindful if you're a newer player and you go for every gem in every box, it will pretty much run you a lot of AP, and you'll probably be event locked for the next couple of weeks. So with all that being said, let's look at Koromochi Kaito. I think she's amazing. Her art is amazing. Like, she's so cool looking, man. I love her. So, what does she do? We have Shadow Art Dark Beholder. Increased damage dealt with ranged attacks on snared enemies by 12%. Okay? And she increases critical rate of ranged attacks on snared enemies by 8% for 7 seconds upon scoring a critical hit. So this supporter is great, man. Like, this is probably one of the best free-to-play supporters we'll get for a while, because they've been pretty bad, and now we're looking at her. So she's amazing because she procs her own passive passively. Because her Shadow Art Fiend's Bow, the passive ability of her active, states that she snares up to 4 random enemies for 3 seconds, and this applies every 4.5 seconds with a 50% chance, which is really high, and at max level that 3 seconds would double to 6 seconds. So the duration would actually outlast the snare recast, which is amazing. So her increased damage dealt with ranged attacks on snared enemies by 12% is basically like she's gonna just do it herself. You'll never need to like actually cast snares yourself, which is really good because the only character that can snare right now is Sakura, I believe. I think Oboro may, I'm not sure, but I know for sure Sakura is like the main character that can like snare with her ultimate dodge. So making her proc her own beginning passive is amazing. And then on top of that, your critical rate of your ranged attacks is also increased by 8% on snared enemies for 7 seconds if you crit. So basically, if you crit, you just get more crit rate to keep critting, to keep forcing this passive out. So this passive actually like forces itself to proc. It was all within one sentence. She's amazing. Like, she's so good. It's crazy how good she is for a free-to-play supporter. And she's sticking to this new standard of actually having like 4 abilities within one card, because she has 2 passives. She has a third passive within her active, and then she also has an active which says make multiple attacks that deal 265% damage within the area. I don't know what the area is, but honestly, even if it's not that big, I'm still sold by her triple passive loadout, and they all synergize with each other. She's just such a cohesive supporter and kind of helps herself, which is the kind of stuff that free to play need. On top of that, she's protect, so like she's good in any sort of blue build that you'll be putting together. I'm definitely gonna like be doing the build arc test. It said arc theory crafted. I don't know if he tested it yet because the event just came out. But I'm gonna be trying the build he theory crafted with ranged characters, and I'll share it if it's anywhere near as good as I'm thinking it's gonna be. So yeah, that's Koromochi Kaito. I really like her. Like, I'm really excited to get her. I'm actually gonna like spend some time playing this event. Just, oh, she's so cool, man. Like, I like her. Like, if she were playable, I'd simp for that. She's so freaking awesome. So yeah, nice to have you, Koromochi. Outside of her, that's really all they did. Um, Reminders, even though I said it just yesterday, Spring Herald will be leaving next week. So this is the last week to get your hands on these sweet cherry blossom wedding waifu skins, or whatever you want to call them. And outside of that, there's nothing new. It was just the event and just the new supporter here. And I have no leaks, so that's pretty much it. I do want to like alt tab and tell you guys one thing. So a user on my Discord, I believe his name is Cygnus, the Asuka enthusiast, he actually had a little powwow with the devs about Asuka's Taimanin art. So I have disappointing news, and I'm sorry for misinformation, but let me get you guys over to this screen. Here it is. Okay, I'm swapping over now, so this way you guys can see it for yourselves and you know I'm not just talking out of my ass. So we're capturing the display. Alrighty. So he contacted support for Grimory about her Taimanin art, and it basically says here, if you use the playable character Kokawa Asuka's skill Taimanin art Wind God, Asuka's normal attack is completely converted from melee attack to ranged attack. Thus, when using the skill, effects that regard ranged attack are applied only, and those that regard melee attack are not applied. So, thank you, Cygnus, for figuring this out. A lot of us thought she was actually a hybrid, which is just unfortunately not the case. If you use her timing in art, it will convert her melee to be completely ranged. So, I'm sorry for the misinformation. Ark and I both misinterpreted it because the ability doesn't really state that it's a complete conversion, so we assumed that if you got close enough for melee, the attacks were still melee. But no, they actually are completely ranged basic attacks at that point. So then you should be stacking things like Faust and Spica and, things that really help ranged damage and blah blah blah. So it's unfortunate that that is the case because having a hybrid character would have been neat. And I do think the game needs one, and I think it would be a cool addition. But as far as Atsuka goes, sorry guys, she is not hybrid. So please keep this in mind when building her, and thank you Cygnus, the Asuka enthusiast, for figuring this out by contacting the team, because, it's good to have the proper info. So I apologize again, I thought she was hybrid, but I'm incorrect. She's either ranged or melee, depending on whether you use her timing in art or not. So that's going to basically be the video. If you guys found it helpful or informative, please like and subscribe, as it really does help out the channel. And from there, you boys and gals go ahead and have a great rest of your day. Make sure you get out there and farm up the new supporter because she is 100% worth it. Have good luck in your gotchas and in the arena. And you boys and gals take care, and I'll catch you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.